Welcome to the Madness Collective. I am Crescent. My co-host is Antoine. He's somewhere doing things. And look, our guest co-host tonight is Jason Sugar.
Yeah, I'm just Jason Sugars.
you're
king,
our guest
king of the mild frontier. Go.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
ready.
So, if you are tuning in for the first time, we are the Madness Collective. We do our best to recap the day's headlines. Yeah, something like that. We're on 3 nights a week now. So, it's just headline upon headline upon headline. Anyway, tonight, Kanye was in Hollywood. Azealia Banks weighs in finally on the Nicki and Megan mess, as we've dubbed it. Not a beef, a mess. Nikki Haley was on the Breakfast Club. There's a billionaire Harvard donor who is taking his money and going home because he has the mads. Whatever, he's upset. Meanwhile, there are other rich parents who are spending big money on consultants to get their little privileged kids into college. But again, we'll talk about that. The social media hearings were this week, and they are, of course, fucking with Cori Bush and Fanni Willis. I guess Black women should just stay single. That's what we should do. Speaking of, I caught a couple clips on this show called Ready to Love. I don't know who else is checking for it. It's on OWN, but yeah, we're going to talk about that. And then, so that and probably a couple other things because that's what we do. All that and more in this episode of The Madness Collective. Hey, Jason, welcome.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you guys for having me. I was like, I hope they call me again.
Of course. So on my end, I don't see Antoine anymore, but the last time I froze. So if anybody's in the chat, if y'all can help us out, we basically haven't. Look, Karen was like, "What's up? What up, Jason? Hey." So yeah, look, our production people in the chat, if y'all can just let me know. Hopefully, I'm not frozen.
No, I can see you.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll see.
Oh, I'm in this thing though.
So a couple of things though that are not on the show floor that happened today. Carl Weathers passed away. He was 76. He just had a birthday in January. Actually, January 14th, Antoine, the day before your birthday. Oh, can't hear you, Antoine. At least I can't. So Carl Weathers, who started as Apollo Creed in the first 4 Rocky films. He was also in Happy Gilmore, Action Jackson. I always hated trying to say that. I was like, do I have a speech impediment? He was in Predator, The Mandalorian. So yeah. Oh, Arrested Development. Forgot about that. So he passed. And then, it is Black History Month. Yay.
Testing. Can you
hear you? Hey, Antoine. What's up?
Hi. Black History Month while we still have one.
Attitude.
Oh, it's all good. You say Black History Month while we still have one?
But yeah, till they delete it.
Not delete it. Jesus. Okay. So also we launched retaliatory strikes in the Middle East. We'll potentially maybe try and cover that on Monday. I don't know. I just wanted to mention a couple things that came up, while we were prepping for the show. Also, so the last 2 episodes of this week, Monday and Wednesday, just so you know, we're Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We've been talking about Megan and Nicki Minaj and the mess. So another thing that got announced today is Megan has a deal with Warner Music. She is able to retain her independence as an artist while having access to the global services ranging from radio promotion to marketing. And she maintains full control of her music, full ownership of her masters and publishing. I think they said it's like the first type of deal like that.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's how you need to move these days. Because these rappers are always clowning each other. They'll say, your finances are not in order because you have a 360 deal. And if you look at Megan's original contract with 1501, they got 60% of everything, even I think her concert revenue. And that's why she was fighting to get off the label because it was a terrible.
Yeah, that seemed really bad. Excuse me. So, yeah, that is awesome. Oh, I was gonna say Meg is winning. Meg is it's been about a week since she dropped his. Yes, it's been a week exactly. She winning. So, speaking of Azealia Banks and Antoine has been waiting. You've been waiting for Azealia to weigh in, haven't you, Antoine?
I don't know why it took her so long. And a lot of people don't know this. If you see the video clip, and y'all, I beg you, even if you just have to have it playing in the background while you washing the dishes or whatever, it is thoroughly entertaining. But the room that she's in, she has her own company. She sells soap. She sells all these lotions She sells
Skin bleaching cream.
Yeah, she's got a skin lightening soap.
She did.
Yeah, so that's what was in the background. That was actual product. It's apparently it's a viable company. She's been running it for damn near 10 years, I think.
Oh wow.
It's called Cheapy XO. So check it out.
Wait, it's called what now?
Cheapy, like cheap, like you wear cheap clothes or you got a cheap wig.
Okay.
Cheapy, X as in xylophone, O as in orgasm.
Sure. I just want to make
all right. I'll take xylophone or whatever. That's good.
I just wanted to make sure I heard the word cheap correctly because that's what I wasn't sure about. So thank you.
Cheapy XO.
So about the video, a couple of things she noted is that, as we said in the title, she said this is about Jay-Z. She said Jay-Z has this way of presenting himself in the culture as a daddy Warbucks type figure. And then she hypothesized that a majority of female rappers they lack a father figure. And so they look to Jay for a type of validation and guidance, right? And so she's saying that Nicki wants that and doesn't have it. She mentioned the Feeling Myself video, which now I need to rewatch. Like the way she describes like what she feels like a dynamic happening between Jay and seeing Beyonce laughing at her. I'm like, what did I miss in this video? I was like, I gotta rewatch that. Also, also, what she said is that Jay really hasn't endorsed a female rapper really in the last like few years, and Megan was kind of the first one. Seems like in a while.
To be fair, he's never endorsed Nicki. Jay has never been featured on the Nicki album. I'm sure she wanted a feature, and
didn't they do Monster together?
Monster. Yeah. That's when you get what you want by going through somebody else. Because Kanye was in charge of Monster, so he's the one that put Nicki on that. Jay-Z did not request that woman to be on that track. So yeah, and it's funny that Azealia brought it up because I follow the mess. It never even crossed my mind. So
no.
yeah, it does appear that that's something that she wants and she can't get it.
She also mentioned Nicki's finances. And so if any of the clips we were going to play, any of them, this actually would have been the one, but I'm going to just read what she said. I realized it when she was frying the can of cream corn in the Teflon pan. I was just like, what in the welfare is happening right now? You can tell by whatever keeps happening with Nicki's butt that she is fucked right now because there's something very fucking wrong with the butt right now. I do know that the surgery to get that out of there is a pretty penny. So that's a quote unquote. Look at Jason's face.
because okay. So I have a super love-hate. I don't know. I feel like she came up one of the times. I have a love-hate thing with Azealia. She's extraordinarily concise as a critic, as a social critic. But when she knows that she needs to say something to keep her brand up and ain't got shit to say, I think she just makes up shit. Like there was so much conjecture. Like somebody's like, why you making that face? Because you're really mad because you had to eat pineapples this morning on a pizza. Like, what do you know about people's daddy issues? About like, I'm not, and I love her because she talks so much shit. I just love people that talk shit. It's just my thing, and is fearless about it. Like, fuck it, beat me up, choke me out at a party. I don't care.
Choke me out at a party.
You gotta wait. That's later. The choking comes later. Go ahead, Antoine.
She does do that because honestly, when I'm watching it, it's hilarious to listen to her. Beyonce was not shading Nicki in the Feeling Myself video. I've seen that video 30 times. But when she presents it that way, it's hilarious. And she didn't do it on the Flawless remix. But, within the context of what she's saying today about Jay-Z, it makes it funnier when she tries to go back and rewrite history. So it's not unlike what Cat Williams is.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, because the thing is, she is brilliant. Like, you have to give her just innate intelligence. That is obvious. And she's like a Cat Williams, like comedians who are really good. She's observant. She's very observant. And so, there might be something she's picking up on that some of us are not necessarily paying attention to, but I agree. Like, some of this other shit, like, okay, girl, you just had jokes, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like you said, Antoine, in the context of what's going on, you're like, that shit's funny.
She's just like, that's what I came to do. I just came to steer shit up. You ain't got. I'm glad you don't like it. Today they talking about Azealia. They might not have been 3 days ago. I came to steer shit up.
What'd you say,
She had
Antoine?
time too, because like her hair was a mess. It was just a mess. And at one point she explains that she's like, yeah, Jay-Z don't fuck with bitches like Nicki. Like, you know, he's into French feminine, and he's like, she smells like hood. Then she said smells like hot sauce and spit and earring backs.
God damn.
Like you said, Jason, she's mad concise. Like just
Nigga, I was laughing the entire fucking time. It is hilarious.
Oh my God.
And she just kept saying, she's like, Nicki wants to be a rock girl so bad. And she said, girl, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But she basically said, I know she broke. She said, cartoon artwork for the single cover. Okay, girl, do what you got to do. And she said, I love that they gave you a budget after the album was released to go rent some clothes from designers that don't want you in their clothes. And she kept saying, I hate it when she does that. I hate it when she does that.
Oh, God. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I only caught some snippets.
Oh, it's raw.
Wait.
It's delicious.
Bev said smelling like hood is a bar.
Smell like hot sauce and spit. God damn.
Hot sauce and spit and earring backs. While you cooking cream corn in a Teflon skillet. I don't even know what that means, but I'm gagging at it. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, God.
It's so good. Y'all have to watch it.
Oh, God. Okay. So, Also, Nicki was on Twitter X. I'm going to call it Twitter X because that's whatever. Spaces, which was hosted by Joe Budden, who I don't really check for, and said that Megan wanted a Rihanna moment. The only reason why I mention this is because people, of course, reacted strongly to that. Somebody said it took Rihanna 9 months to speak about her assault. People dragged her, not speaking sooner, and then accused her of doing an interview to promote her new album. She was mocked, berated, and accused of lying on him. So calling a woman's domestic violence a moment is dangerous and disgusting. So she's continued on with her crazy. Like, it's unending.
Azealia alluded to that as well. She basically said that Megan is using the Rihanna stimulus package. And she said she don't know when to stop talking about what happened to her, which, you know, I don't agree with. Yeah. The fact that I think Azealia is Azealia. You know, you could take it or leave it. She is on message, but Nicki is not. This desperation constantly going around to media outlets. You know, when one thing don't stick and everybody reads you for filth, then you go even lower and try and use another explanation to explain. You're trying to explain why this girl is eating and you are so bothered and nobody's buying it. Because I really thought at one moment I'm like, finally, she's being quiet. Just if you be quiet for a while, just wait and see what Megan does next. And you probably could kind of climb out of this hole that you done dug yourself into. But to go on Joe Budden and speak on it even more, and then you drag Rihanna into it. Like, and her and Rihanna have a contentious relationship. They friends 1 minute, they following one another, then they unfollowing one another. So she should have kept Rihanna's name out her mouth.
She should have, but I will say her as she was talking about Rihanna, she actually was very respectful and kind of in a like a revering type way. Like I was like, okay, at least you ain't full nuts.
Yeah, she don't want that. Look, the Barbs are batshit crazy, but she don't want that Navy coming after her ass either.
No, absolutely not.
You know, that's a Navy supported by billionaire dollars, which Nicki still doesn't have at this point.
Okay, and also
maybe get some financial or business advice from Drake and Rihanna. Get your money up and stop cooking the cream corn in the Teflon skillet. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Also, Rihanna don't bother nobody. Last production note, Jason. I don't know if you know that you're like your head is like a little bit lower than me and Antoine.
Okay, let me see.
I just want to let you know because when you watch it on playback, you're gonna be like, "Why the fuck was I down here?" So, okay, better. Hey, perfect. Okay. So speaking of unhinged rappers who probably are in financial decline, Kanye was in Hollywood this week, and Antoine, I think just if you can play, I think the first like minute or 60
Okay.
seconds, or 50 seconds.
Hey Kanye, how you doing? It's good to see you. People want to know if Bianca has her free will. Some people are saying you're controlling her.
She's TMZ. She's TMZ. You can't make a big deal. She's TMZ. I don't give a fuck. Don't come asking me your dumbass shit. I'm a person, bro. Hey, stop. No, I mean, you're recording. Don't come ask me that dumbass shit. I'm a person. You got kids?
No.
Exactly. So what do you do? Who do you work for? What do you feel like it's okay? I'm a human being. All of this TMZ, this 30 miles on, y'all set celebrities up. All this bullshit.
When I was watching it before, that black thing happened, but then the image came back. So anyway, he snatched this woman's phone, who works with TMZ, and then it became a whole thing. And so she was asking him about his wife and whether or not she has free will, the current wife. And remember, what was that? Like last week, we shared a series of photos with the wife basically being near naked in a bunch of different like places. And so, yeah, the woman was like, she got free will. Like, what's up? He got pissed off, grabbed her phone. And all I know is this. The way he was talking to that woman was arrogant and controlling as fuck. Like, I get it. The fucking question triggered him, but his reaction to it. And then that whole getup that he had on, like, when he wears that, like, almost like a muscle jacket, like, and the mask, I'm like, nigga, what?
Oh, it's Kanye. I think I don't like it when it's okay for him to be upset, but he got real aggressive with that woman, and you do that shit because her brother or her husband ain't there. Because if I was related to her, I would have fucked that nigga up. I would have been like, I'm gonna buy you a new phone because when I beat his ass, we're probably gonna fuck your phone up. You just don't do that.
No.
And what's crazy is the thing about it is you're not consistent because a week before he'll talk to TMZ and sit there and have a whole fucking he'll literally laugh with them. So you just don't know. And even I think that the thing that's crazy here is you just could have ignored her and continued on your way. You didn't have to say anything.
Nope.
You know how this process works. So I guess you had, a hair up your ass on that day, but you need to not be aggressive, particularly with women in that way. That's what bothered me the most. I didn't like that.
This is what I'm saying. His whole tone was I was like, dude, Jason, you're about to say something.
No, I was in what Antoine was saying and what you're saying. It's like the tone thing and the fact that he did it on a woman, it seems like he was just triggered by the absolute truth of getting slapped in the face with like, does she have, you're acting right now like nobody should have any control around you if they're a female. So clearly you just answered my question, because if that's how you treat a stranger, how do you treat this weird dust bunny you've been carrying around the world?
I wasn't ready for that. And to your point, Antoine, fine, you don't like the question, it's triggering, but you snatched this woman's phone.
Yeah.
But you said something else, Antoine, that's super pointed in talking about Kanye, and it's about the inconsistency of how he acts. Yeah. The man is literally schizophrenic. The man is I'm not doing let's get serious and he's got problems. I'm not that serious. I'm joking about it because that's how I am. This guy is severely in really bad shape, like psycho-emotionally. Yeah. He really is. Definitely. And you can tell it sometimes in how he walks. Like sometimes you'll just see him moving, and you can just, like, if somebody smells like hood, sometimes somebody walks like autism. Like something's the matter with this cat. You know what I mean? And so I used to feel sorry for him, but it seems to always come out in some hyper-aggressive, near-violent, abusive fashion. So I don't feel sorry for him. Like, one day, no matter why you're crazy, somebody's going to beat the shit out of you, and you will have earned it.
They are.
Yeah, and that's the thing, considering the setup that, so he was, Charlie Wilson, I think, was getting his Hollywood, his star. And so, to your point, Jason, and also you, Antoine, saying, like, because she didn't have, like, somebody else there, to really get rowdy back with him. But the setup of was it like, yeah, somebody could have gotten super rowdy with him, like in that space. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he did. Now we didn't play this part.
No.
He did offer to give her a payout
job
in the end. Yeah.
Yeah. He calmed down slightly, right? Like
when that fucking police officer showed up, his black ass calmed down. Yeah.
That part. Also, he called himself a grown ass superhero. That's why we have
a superhero.
Grown ass superhero. That's cute.
Okay.
That's cute. Yeah. So, moving on. And more black men that I am side-eyeing. Nikki, or as Antoine likes to refer to her, Nimarata.
Nimarata.
Okay.
Call me by my name.
Was on the Breakfast Club. And so a couple things about this. So Charlamagne did ask her about, inequalities in America, because she said America is not a racist country. Okay. So, there's the picture. There's the picture.
Shit is just not working right today.
All good. All good.
Oh, wait. Hold up, y'all. I want to bring this up real quick just for a second. Okay. Charlamagne look thick as hell right there.
Yeah, he looking a little hippie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He giving me bad bitch energy. Are you not getting this? I might hit. And clearly Envy just said fuck leg day. Fuck legs. I just wanted to point that out.
Wait, because Bev is where I'm at. Bev is like, you lost me at Nimarata was on Breakfast Club. I stopped listening. Girl, I didn't check for the fucking interview. I just caught some snippets. So Charlamagne tried to call her out on her saying that America's not a racist country. And he was like, can you admit that America is systematically and structurally a racist country? She says, I think culture has a lot to do with it, right? But it's more of if you look at it that way, how do you fix it, right? Culture, bitch, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what are you saying? If it's okay,
she never answers a fucking question. That's the problem with her. It's and you know what? This is crazy because they're giving Indian people a bad name because Vivek does the same thing. It's like, it's been a lot of South Asian energy in the political sphere this quarter. So yeah, her being evasive when people ask her real questions, and Vivek being an opportunist, he will say anything. Absolutely. He will say anything to get a microphone in his face. So yeah, it's not good.
So Charlamagne tried to follow up, like, do you think this is a racist country? So she says, I don't think America's racist. I think we have racism in America. So Steve Colbert said, okay, let's say you have a lemon meringue pie or something like that. Like you have a nice pie. He's like, if there's poop in the pie, you got a poop pie, okay?
It don't matter how much shit is in that pie. Ain't nobody go eat it because there's shit in the pie.
Right. Like, you got a shit pie, okay? So then she was also defending the rights of states to succeed from the country. First of all, a topic that is highly debated. And also SCOTUS is like, no, you can't do that anymore. Go ahead, Jason.
One thing is like, and I don't pay a lot of attention to Nikki Haley, but because I read a lot of stuff in the political sphere on both sides, like she is notoriously, you will get a different answer from her in each room on a given day, depending on what she thinks that person needs to hear.
That part.
But one of the things that's kind of their hard line on her side of the aisle, whatever that means, is that they cannot ever say or admit or confess that this is just systematically, and that doesn't mean chronically. No one's saying it can't be changed or fixed. No one's asking you to say that, but you can't do anything about it until you say, this is how this happened. I think he pointed out the thing she said about, or her skipping over slavery when explaining what her causes for the Civil War were. And her response to him was like, oh, I thought it was going to be a more complicated, more substantial question. So my head was set to answer. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
So wait, another example. So Charlamagne asked her, do you think Trump mocking your birth name was racist? She, of course, didn't give a direct answer. She said, I think we can let other people decide that. I think you look at it. He didn't
ask other people. He fucking asked you.
I think you look at it and it's kind of like the Tim Scott, you sleep with yourself. I mean,
yeah, I was like,
we'll let Donald Trump sleep with that all that he wants. Okay, so to your point, Jason, about depending on who she's talking to, the answer that you're gonna get. My thing is, in her trying not to piss off MAGA and her donors or whoever the fuck, I'm like, you just sound dumb. You just sound fucking dumb. Like, period. You just, and I actually don't think you are. Trump got something's going on up here, but dementia, whatever it is, allegedly. But Nikki, I actually don't think you're dumb, but you sound dumb with some of these responses.
I think that a part of what she may be doing, and I have no idea, but a part of what she may be doing is she may also be have a sideline campaign to run as Trump's vice president. So she has to be cuidado about what she says because he's notoriously kind of bitch-like. If that, are we allowed to say that on here? About feeling like he's been slighted or something. You know what I mean?
So we've talked about that, and honestly, I think at one point maybe, but now I don't think so. I don't. I think it's gonna be like a Tim Scott or maybe that chick Elisa Fani. Like, I don't think it's gonna be Nikki because he can't.
I don't think it's going to be.
He's probably gonna feel like I can't control her. Like, she might get in and try and slip some poison into my hamburger and knock him out,
or refuse to fake a recount or whatever the fuck he asked the last dude to do.
That part.
Yeah, because the thing with her, because I totally thought he was going to pick her because she would have been a second vice president. She's South Asian descent. It would have been a good look for him because they have continuously painted her as a pre-Trump Republican. So in a way, it could unify that voting power so that the crazies, the majority of them that are crazy, are going to vote for Trump, and the more traditional ones could at least say, well, at least Nikki's there. But I agree with what Crescent is saying. Well, both of you. I think with her, she is different from a Mike Pence. She seems to be, she knows what she's doing. She's effective. She's been a governor before. She knows how the political game works. So I guess what I'm trying to say, if the two of them are in a room together, that energy is going to clash because there are things he's going to say and she's going to be like, I'm sorry, yeah, but like, she might have to correct him on some things. So I think he sees her as too much of a challenge.
She served in his administration. So,
yeah, she did.
So that happened then. But yeah, now going forward, I think he'd probably be like, I can't trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Also,
right, exactly.
DeSantis never moved away from the MAGA line, right? Like, he never, ever wavered from, like, this is the MAGA party line. So, right. But he ain't gonna be VP either. What are you about to say, Jason?
If she's able to manipulate her answers for fucking Charlemagne the God, she'll be malleable enough for him to put him under his armpit or whatever, and she will simply shut the fuck up and follow the line. It'll be the closest that she might ever get to presidency. So I'm not saying I think that's what she's running. I don't think she's running to be his VP, and I don't think she should be, but you're right, it would be a great strategy. But I believe that she's running within her mind that if he decides to pick her for whatever reason, she wants to be the pick-me girl of the week on that side of things.
Oh, I agree. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
She can't say anything about him talking about her, calling her, her name's Nimarata or whatever the fuck her name is.
Look at Sarah's comment prediction. He'll start calling her Nimarata. Exactly what you just said, Jason.
I can't see any comments, and then whenever you show a clip or a picture, I can't see anything.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
That's not good.
Good to know.
So I was trying to get it up. That's what I was doing on my phone, is trying to get it up on YouTube so I can see what y'all are seeing.
Oh my God. Karen said there's no way racist ass Trump is making a brown woman VP. Who knows? So
can we stop calling her brown?
Because God knows she won't. God knows she would never. So let's give. She identifies as whatever. Let's treat her right.
So
but remember a couple weeks ago she went on this whole thing. She was interviewed and she kept referring to herself as a brown girl, and as a means of kind of bridging that gap. But again, if she don't tell you she's of South Asian descent, she just looks like a regular white lady. It's amazing to me. She don't look. She got no Indian in it. When she tells you, you're like, oh, now I can see it. But yeah, you wouldn't automatically know that.
So Jason Bev posted help Jason, just so you know. But
yeah,
I just want to mention
what you mean by that?
She wants you to be able to have the full experience.
I'm gonna pull it up on YouTube.
So wait, I just want to mention a couple more things, and I want to move on from them because we already a half hour in. So just as a reminder, Charlemagne has already said he's not endorsing the Biden-Harris campaign, and he has openly questioned why the GOP doesn't rally around Haley's candidacy. I'm not going to spend time ranting about that. Maybe on Monday when we talk about black men and voting for Trump. So I'm gonna just leave that where it's at. But she said, as far as like, there's going to at some point be the first female president, and she was like, she doesn't think it should be Kamala, right? Which I get why she's saying that, but her rationale behind it makes it sound like she doesn't think Kamala's fucking qualified. And whenever I hear somebody talking about they don't think a black person's qualified for some shit, I get really fucking aggravated. So
Yeah.
a couple things. Last thing is, again, she was on The Breakfast Club. She wouldn't have been welcome on the motherfucking Madness Collective. I can tell you that right motherfucking now. No, thank you. So,
again, the thing that I think these people are so fucking, they're such fucking hypocrites. So, if Kamala isn't qualified, what the fuck do you think Trump has under his belt to give him the right to be president? Kamala is 10 times more qualified than Donald Trump is. She's put in the work. And that to me is the only, if you can expand your perspective, the only positive thing about Trump winning the presidency is that it now opens it up to people who are not career politicians. And I don't really have an issue with that. But to say Kamala isn't qualified, you know, that's the same thing they said about the other nigga that was in the White House. Y'all remember him?
Of course.
Yeah. I think that they believe that is a qualification. No, so it's like when Trump says illegitimate votes and he points out every black city in America, then what he means by illegitimate votes is black votes are in his eyes illegitimate.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Right. Karen said people are still on Trump being a successful businessman with zero proof. Exactly. So moving on. Speaking of people who claim to have a lot of fucking money. Oh wait, sorry. Sarah said, yeah, but he says it like it is. He gets it done. He doesn't take shit from anyone. Oh yeah, that's what the people say about why they like this fucker, whatever. So speaking of another white man with money, so there's a billionaire, probably a legitimate billionaire, because I don't think Trump is a billionaire, who is a Harvard grad, which is where I too went to school. And he's blasting elite students, calling them whiny snowflakes, and he doesn't want to donate anymore to Harvard because he's pissed off about this DEI stuff, right? So he says, will America's elite universities get back to their roots of educating American children, young adults, to be the future leaders of our country, or are they going to maintain being lost in the wilderness of microaggressions, a DEI agenda that seems to have no real end game and just being lost in the wilderness? He says Harvard needs to resume their role as educating young American men and women to be leaders, to be problem solvers, to take on difficult issues. Once again, so not you're a billionaire, right? And you went to Harvard, and yet you sound real ignorant. Like, and I get it. You're pissed off about whatever the fuck it is you're pissed off about, but your rationale for why you are not sending your money to Harvard anymore sounds crazy to me. I know one thing that we said, that not on here, but I've talked about with my friends, is some of their kids are no longer getting into these schools the way they used to, and also sort of not getting the same job opportunities because your ass may have skated through school, right? Like you got in because somebody did donate $500 fucking million to Harvard, right? And then, but now it's time to get in the real world. And cats are like, actually, yeah, back in the day, I would have hired you because Biff and we golf together and whatnot. But you know what? Now I need somebody who actually knows what the fuck they're doing. Sorry. So I don't know if that's what his issue is, but he has donated, I think, a total of $500 million to Harvard. I'm sure his kids are getting it. Okay. So I don't know exactly what the fuck his issue is. Hear me out. It would be great if like a Beyonce and a Jay, Rihanna, because she's a billionaire, some of these black people actually started donating big money to some of these institutions. Not that they need it, but it's like when you hear about these billionaires, multimillionaires who are like, I'm taking my money away from these schools. I feel some
because
kind
of DEI. But taking it away because of DEI.
Yes.
Like, help me understand. I mean, even in his speech about wanting to create the world's next leaders, unless you are dead struck that they should be leading a whites only world like the one that you want to happen, they're going to need these other tools as tools to be the next world leaders. You can't hold your ground forever or die on that hill of like, it's got to be old white men and a couple of their semi-female counterparts running everything. Like,
okay,
these people have to be more well-rounded if they're going to keep moving forward.
Right.
I don't think. I mean, what do you think when you say that people that we have that have those kind of resources on our side should start? Do you think that they should be giving them to those schools or maybe to HBCUs?
I mean,
And,
right.
and
And
I'm not an HBCU guy because I wish we didn't need a separate thing. But apparently, if we're really going to be treated right and get something, those schools do need the money more than Harvard could ever at this point.
you're not wrong. Like Harvard's endowment is the largest. So yeah, it doesn't technically like need the money, but from my and yes, I agree. HBCUs should be continue to be as needs. They need money. A lot of them need money. Some of them are okay, but yeah, broadly speaking, most of them yes need money. They don't have anywhere near the endowment like the Harvards do. Notre Dame, absolutely. So it's more so from a fuck it dick swinging perspective, right? Like
Right,
because these
right.
white guys are like, yeah, I'm taking my check and going home. And there's just sort of like the badass in me is like, that's cool. Cause a black person over here is like, you want to take your money? That's cool. I'm gonna put something on it because I too want to have this sway with this type of institution. So speaking of, there's a couple that I've gotten to know, Jose Feliciano and Kwanzaa Jones. They went to Princeton. They donated $20 million to Princeton and now they have a dorm named after them. Also, this is the largest donation
Wait,
from black and brown couple ever to an Ivy League school. Go ahead.
did you say Jose Feliciano,
Yes.
the blind guy?
No.
Okay, thank you.
They just have the
Okay,
same
no.
name.
So
Yes.
sorry. You,
No.
I,
This
I
is
was like, is this nigga still alive? Is he still doing CB Wonder covers? I love Jose Feliciano. All right, go
no.
ahead. I'm
This
old.
is
I'm
Great
old,
singer.
everybody. Sorry.
it's okay. It's a private equity dude. So just to sort of like have somebody, a black and brown couple in particular, have that type of sway in that space
Yeah.
is more what I'm getting at, right? And this attack on Claudine Gay, which again, we're not I don't want to spend time on that because we need to keep it pushing. But if you have more big donors of color in these spaces,
To
I
balance
don't think
that.
it would have been as easy to railroad her up out of there, right? Because clearly white people start falling away, like, oh, you got a lot going on. I can't fuck with this. You know what I'm saying? So like that's where the perspective is coming from. Yeah, it's just like one of those like I would love to be able to put a fucking big check on it too. Like, what's up, Bill Ackman? Take
But you
bye.
know, part of what we would have to do though is also change our folks' perspectives on that. So you'll remember about maybe 10 years ago now, Dre and his partner over at Interscope put I think what was it $400 million into USC.
Yeah, Jimmy
And
Iovine.
folks, yeah, Jimmy
Jimmy
Iovine. And
Iovine.
folks was mad angry at Dre for donating money. You know, so it's like people would have to understand that it's a power play. It's
Yes.
not, you know what I mean? It's not a capitulation. They're like, oh, I'm gonna give my money to these white guys to try to get it. He's like, no, I'm showing them that now, even though I didn't go to college at all, but I have a power now to see it the way that you're talking about it, because there's got to be something that we can do with our money, since so many people have it. Even to see, what is his name, Swizz and Alicia Keys in the art space, to occupy the kind of space that they do so predominantly in that world is impressive. Not just impressive, it's prideful. It's to me almost like seeing us taking over those corners of culture that they think are theirs is the same almost as seeing as a black president. Like we are actually better than y'all overall. It's just the way it is, and that's why you hate us, and I understand that. But to be able to live the same lives and do things, we do have to like use what power and resources we have to take control of shit. They'll never make a concession. Never.
No, absolutely not. No. So, and also, like, it's not like black people are not going to continue to go to these schools, like Harvard's, Yale's. So, UCLA, right? So, if like some of this funding is going to make sure that either more black and brown kids can get into these schools or have like have their needs taken care of while they're there. There's different ways this can be like looked at. So, but moving on. Speaking of these schools, so rich parents are paying big money for these Ivy League consultants, right? So they're helping 1% navigate the college admissions process. So your children are already in the 1%, and now you're spending literally six figures for a bigger leg up on this process. And it's just crazy to me because I'm like, but affirmative action is a problem, right? So I thought this was supposed to be about merit. And yet y'all out here six figures, like just to make your kid the best candidate possible for this experience. How the fuck am I supposed to compete with that? The hypocrisy drives me crazy.
This is I'm a doing Azealia Banks here. This to me, do y'all remember that scandal at USC with the celebrities and
Very.
so I would be interested I believe this is the same thing, and I'm going to tell you why. I believe that these people who are speaking on this, I'd be interested in the nature of their relationship with the universities that these kids get accepted into. And what I mean by that is, you're saying that these people are paying a lot of money so that I can coach their kids so that they can get into the school. What if your relationship with the school is basically you saying, these people pay me a lot of money, can y'all, you get what I'm saying? I wonder if
Yeah,
there's some
take
sort
them because they're clearly willing and able to spend a lot of
it,
money. So these might be your
exactly.
guys.
Exactly. That's what I feel like is really happening here. The person who's training the kids has a relationship with the universities, because if they're accepted, if all those kids get accepted to the universities that they're trying to get into, I believe there's something else is going on behind the scenes, and it's not just a situation where they're being prepared by that person. I believe it's a form of payola.
So just, I didn't include the whole article because it's long, like it's fucking
And
long.
I really quick, I was damn near ready to pay that guy that 120 grand to read the rest of that fucking article. I got about 2/3 through, and I'm like, I feel like I know enough, nigga. Like, stop telling me enough.
That's why I sent literally the tweet, and I was like, if you wanted to click on it, you keep going. That's your business. But I deliberately did not include the entire article on the show flow because it is long. But he didn't go to these. I think he went to Yale, but he's never been inside an admissions office. So what it is like this round the clock service. Like they're mentors to these kids. And so you're a teenager with access to somebody you can talk, like they're like, we're texting some of these kids 15 minutes before their class, like, hey, is your math work done? Like literally, it's just so you have your own personal fucking consultant just shaping your shit up. You know what I'm saying? So like by the time you get to the interview process, your application, it's tight, right? You're well versed. You got some of these, they're hooking up internships with professors or PhD candidates in like a subject that you want to be in. It's just about access to other resources, right?
Okay.
And so you then on paper sound like great. You sound like a great candidate, right? And then interviewing wise, they're like, oh, this kid has done all these different things. You've been coached.
That shouldn't be allowed. Because to me, if you're going to complain about affirmative action, giving somebody special treatment, you giving your fucking kids special treatment that nobody else has. The other kids who actually get into these universities on the merits of their scholarship think, what the fuck are you doing wrong with your kids? If your kids if you have to spend $120,000 for somebody to help your child get into a school, you know what? Maybe your child needs to go to another school because they're not prepared to go to that one. It's not fair. It's not fair. It isn't fair,
but there's a tail on this. There's a long tail on this that we're not. So in the 80s, I had a friend of my mother's went out on disability and got a job working for a family from Kuwait. I had never heard of Kuwait before, but they had this family, particular blood family, had, I want to say 5 or 6 kids living in Westwood in different, at the time, probably $200,000 condos in those buildings on Wilshire Boulevard, each of them. They paid him a new car every year and whatever salary they were giving him in cash under the table. But what he did for them was similar to what we're talking about with this service, except how far does this service go? Because when I was freelancing as an assistant, I was going to court and pretending to be you. Like, are they just doing your homework? Do you buy them your way into the school and then do you keep paying and they quietly just get them through school? They're just showing up. They leave with they don't know shit about polygraphy or whatever the fuck you learned about.
I didn't think of that. That's a good point.
That you can just continue paying these people to just do everything if that's what they're willing to do.
Well, so no, valid point. Again, I didn't read the entire article. I just kind of tried to skim it.
I did. You should have told me.
Because so the guy who's running this particular company that they interviewed, he actually started out trying to also figure out a way to help like underprivileged, low income students as well, but realized where the money lied. So okay. Yes. And so his rationale though for this is that from his perspective, he's just more it's in this particular camp of kids and families that they're competing against each other. It's actually not even taking into account a different demographic of student, right? Yeah. Because he said parents have offered him money to not coach other students.
Other kids from their school.
Right, in their school, right? So as far as they're concerned, it's within their social circle as far as like the competitiveness, which, okay, whatever. But then this other guy who's a counselor, because there's also this kind of beef, if you will, with like these outside consultants and then the guidance counselors at the school, right? Because sometimes the advice is different. One party is saying one thing, the other party is saying something else. And one of the guidance counselors like, here's the thing. Some of these students could write circles on a motherfucking as their personal statement and they're getting in anyway, right? Like he's like, so what are we talking about? Like, what? Why are you even spending this money? Which is
confusing. It's confusing me. That's why I entertain the idea that maybe something else is going on. But yeah, because to be fair, the programs that help kids, because when I was in high school, I was a part of a program where they helped me prepare for the ACT. The college I went to, they preferred that you take the ACT, SAT. And I took the ACT twice, and I did really well on it because of that class that but it didn't cost me $120,000. The class was free.
No.
It was basically saying, if you care about your future and you're willing to put in the work, we will help you get your score where it needs to be. But it's not smoke and mirrors. I had to go every day. I couldn't go kick it with my friends after school every day. And I got into the school I was supposed to get into.
Yeah.
That to me is the extent of what should be available to these kids. Having these fucking basically admission tutors. Like, again, your child don't belong at that fucking school if it take all that. Maybe they should just go to a junior college that year.
It would be really interesting with him having said what he said about how his original intention was helping people with it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, here's an idea. Now that you're making all this money, I think he said he's $120 a student, 120 grand per student. I think they said in the article he had about 190, currently had about 190 people, which could be a lie. But I feel like I'm going to write him an email though. I'm going to write him an email and be like, listen, with all that money you're making, why don't you come down to Gardena High and charge nothing? Why don't you pro bono some of this shit for somebody? You got a whole staff. Why don't you put, you know what I mean? Like if you're really trying to even out the playing field, because some people do need that kind of help. There's a lot of super smart kids out there, hardworking, super smart kids that just, be it aptitude for testing, they're good at everything else, but they can't test. Like there's people that could use help if it's just help, but it shouldn't be something that becomes another thing where the access point is money again. Because then we're just keeping everything up above this one line of if you have money, you can get and do anything.
Yeah.
No matter what.
But you know why that's not going to happen, Jason?
I guess I do.
For the same reason that you brought up. When somebody offers you to not help other kids so that your kid can have an advantage over the other ones, as soon as he goes to Gardena High, all those donors are going to say, that's not what we fucking paying you to do. We don't want the niggas and the Mexicans going to the same school that we paying you $120,000 to get our pretty white kids into. So it would become a conflict of interest for them. Well, unfortunately.
I ain't worried about that person, but I hear what y'all are saying. So I just want to know. So Bev said her insurance policy lists Harvard University as a benefactor because HBCU grad. Then she said it's not enough for a dorm, but maybe a bench.
Every little bit counts.
Right. Yeah, we'll take it. Then, Sarah said, Antoine, you're going to end up in a Senate hearing. LOL. FYI on that. All right.
If I end up in a Senate hearing, all I got to say to y'all is, if that lady talked to me in the same way that, because that was in the House of Representatives with the lady was going off on Claudine Gay, right?
Yes.
That wasn't.
That was Elise Stefanik. It was Elise Stefanik.
Yeah, Stefanik, the one who's trying to, lick ass to be vice president. But
I prefer Gwen Stefani. I like her better. I mean,
I can tell you right now, if somebody talks to me that way, it's gonna be a problem. I'm going the fuck off.
There's a whole situation there. So actually, speaking of Senate hearings, I'm gonna skip the social media hearing. We can talk about it on Monday because there's a lot there, and I do want to just jump to the Cori Bush, Congresswoman Cori Bush. So still speaking about Congress. So there's an allegation that she was using federal funds for personal security. To be clear, she needs security, all right? She needed security before she even got into Congress because she was part of the Black Lives Matter movement, okay? So she gets threats on her life because she's a Black woman who says what the fuck is in her mind, okay? Right. So, of course, she's under attack. And so here's the thing about she was paying for security through a service, which was not top tier because top tier security costs big fucking money, right?
She don't have that.
she doesn't have that. So, probably weren't highly trained. Cats kind of kept disappearing. Somebody called was like, yeah, ain't coming back for 3 months. Just ghetto shit, okay? So her husband, who's a fucking military vet, basically was kind of helping out, telling people like, hey, dude, you should kind of pay attention to this. So he ends up stepping in. Okay, so here's the thing is you can do, wait, where did that go? Congressional ethics rules allow for representatives to use campaign funds to pay family members for bona fide services as long as those payments do not exceed fair market value. So some hating ass fucking probably right-wing motherfucker reported her. So initially they reported to the FEC, which moves too slowly. So then they were like, okay, bet, I'm going to just fucking keep reporting it to whomever I can report it to. So that was the DOJ, Congressional Ethics Office. So eventually Congressional Ethics Office was like, there's not a problem here. Like a year ago, they were like, this is not an issue. It's not over yet. So they're still fucking with her. And then here's the real thing why I wanted to do this. And I wish we had actually had time to like play this audio, but it's okay. I'm gonna read it.
Are you talking of the Texas guy?
Yes.
I have the video for that. We'll play the video. Before we play the video though, because I'm gonna tell you, when I watched this video, it made me so fucking angry. I was like, I'm done with politics. I don't want to participate. They're openly doing this, publicly talking about us in this way. I can't deal with this. I cannot. I don't understand why white people allow this to happen. If you're a good white person, you have to hate on shit like this. I want to point out, because they didn't, it took me, I had to search for this. Y'all know how much fucking money she paid her husband that year to be her security? What? $30,000. $30,000.
See, I didn't know the number.
It wasn't $1 million. It was $30,000.
Stop
and
it.
That goes to show that this, again, it's just like Claudine Gay. This ain't got nothing to do with security. It has to do with removing people of color from positions of influence. That is what it's about. So let me play this. Hopefully it plays.
Sounds to me like that's going to be a pretty interesting investigation. Paying her what? Her new husband as her muscle? If she misused those funds and started paying, I don't think you should be able to use money like that on family members. I mean, I don't think he's even a licensed security guy. Paying her husband. Well, why didn't she try to get support from local law enforcement? Oh, that's right, we don't want local law enforcement. Maybe she wants to defund the police so she can steal more out of her campaign and pay her husband.
And the MRA, members aren't allowed to use that for security. Do you think that that's something that should be considered?
I don't know. I guess that would be something that maybe Congress should look at. I mean, if she's got some security concerns, I'm sure that Jeffries or somebody could look into it, or maybe get with her local law enforcement agency. But I bet you she don't want to go talk to the police, does she? She doesn't even support the police. But the idea to pay her thug money to try to help protect her, this and that, for what? Maybe if she wouldn't be so loud all the time, maybe she wouldn't be getting threats.
Are you saying she deserves to be threatened?
No, what I'm saying is that when you're out there talking the way she does, I'm surprised that people are probably pretty upset, because she's a pretty radical. She's pretty radical. And maybe she should tone it down a little bit.
Can I ask you about the Senate border deal?
So quickly, Antoine, here's the funny part. I hadn't seen that entire thing. The only clip that I saw is it starts off with him saying the idea to pay her thug.
You saw the one that they played on Joy Reid.
Yeah, the shorter clip. Yeah, so I didn't even see like the setup for all of that. So because and that just that isolated part right there, the idea to pay her thug money, because the casualness of it out of his mouth, right? Like that's the part where you're like, this motherfucker just said exactly what I heard him say.
You can't, it's like, we can't do anything. One thing that they usually, you know, a fail-safe is when you bring up the military. Usually, if you're a police officer and you're in the military, color goes out the window. This man is a military veteran, and you out here calling him a fucking thug. This is crazy. This shit is crazy.
Also talking about, like, you know, maybe she wouldn't be so loud all the time. Maybe she needs to take her tone down a bit.
It's so fucking blatantly racist. And the fact that none of his constituents, because I'm looking up this motherfucker's record. I want to see if he served any time in the military. I want to know what his background is, because the fact that none of his constituents will stand up and denounce this behavior means that they co-sign that shit. Yeah. And the fact that, and I'll be honest with you, when I first heard this, before I saw the Joy Reid interview, I was kind of on this, I don't really think you did anything wrong, but just like the Fani thing with the Trump, with her and the co-counsel, the controversy there, I'm like, we are niggas. We cannot be hiring people we fucking. It's just they always go use it against us. But when I saw her on the Joy, when Joy interviewed her, I'm like, this makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Sarah said, so damn disrespectful. Imagine if she was calling his wife a hoe and stuff. They go ballistic. Exactly.
Yes.
Right. And Karen said, thug equals nigger. Like, why do we even pretend anymore? No. Exactly.
In a way, I'm just kind of like, you know what? Stop even. Don't do the exact opposite. Don't tone it down. Start reading these motherfuckers for filth publicly. Hire a private investigator. I'm looking at this man. This man got some dirt on him. He is not a good person.
I'm sure.
We need to take his ass out.
So, okay, but as a reminder, Elaine Chao, who's married to motherfucking Mitch McConnell, joined the Trump administration as Secretary of motherfucking Transportation. And yes, she had worked in the Bush administration, but I wasn't paying attention then, so fuck it. So now, the wife of the Senate leader is now a cabinet member. And while she was there, giving favoritism to fucking Kentucky. But y'all out here messing with this woman and her husband as her security and getting paid fucking peanuts. Again, hypocrisy is not strong enough a word. And that's just a half of it, okay? We can talk about Jared Kushner's unqualified ass, Ivanka Trump's unqualified ass. Everybody's a part of administration. Maybe 3 people were fucking qualified for their fucking jobs. So I don't really want to hear about it. But again, the amount of money the Trumps made while he was in the fucking White House, get out of here. So
what's good for the goose is not, the rest of it.
Of course not.
The whole, my father used to say this shit, do as I say, not as I do. He used to say that shit to me all the time. It's like, they do this shit on 12, and there is usually a justification for people investigating them because it's usually millions of dollars being used for shit that ain't supposed to be have a connection with taxpayer dollars. So, I hate that she's having to deal with this. This is terrible, and it's so blatantly racist.
So blatantly racist. So speaking of more Black women being harassed, and we should spend a little bit of time talking about this. So Fani Willis, who, as we all know, is doing racketeering charges against Trump, plus a whole bunch of other motherfuckers, some of whom have settled because they needed to. So she hired a prosecutor, to help run this shit. So the original motion, which was filed by Michael Roman, who's a former Trump campaign official, keep that in mind, alleged that Miss Willis had hired her boyfriend as a special prosecutor, granting him lucrative contracts even though he was underqualified, and then benefited by going on vacations for her. So today is actually that they officially responded to it. 176, damn near 180 pages was like, okay, y'all want information? I got you. So they started dating after. She said they've known each other for a while. She brought him on board. It was actually hard to find people to join this case. So first there's that. Second, she brought him on board and he was like, yeah, he has made more money than everybody else because he's worked more hours than everybody else. And this whole him not being qualified shit, that's actually really getting under my skin. Maybe he had not done cases like this before, but a prosecutor is a motherfucking prosecutor. Even if he had been a defense attorney, that's still bringing a perspective on this shit that, hey, would probably be very helpful. So this motherfucker went to law school. He's been practicing law. Fuck you. Okay. So I'm just super pissed off about all of it. Now, she said, it gets messy. He wasn't officially divorced from his motherfucking wife, although they've been separated since 2021. She feeling some kind of way because he hiding assets. Not a good look. I get it. So, and I will say this, which is what a lot of people are saying. She shouldn't have allowed herself to be put in a situation. Talking about Fani.
Yes.
Hear that. At the same time, she's like, look, I need a motherfucker on my team who I know I could trust and got my back. Hey, feelings developed. Okay. So I'm actually not as mad at her as I initially was when I first heard about it. And
I agree. I'm the same way. I feel the same way. I had to tone it down.
Yeah. Like, go ahead, Jason.
I don't think I was mad at her. I think there's a that bullshit. We got to be twice as good. Blah 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 blah.
So that's what it was. I wasn't mad at her. Just getting yourself in this situation or allowing them to have anything to say. But go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
But you look at it like you look at local politics, right? So we got Kern Price, City Council right now under indictment, right? Wesson, trouble. Mark Ridley Thomas, trouble. And I think for me, it's like it's you put yourself in that position if you're not as clean as a fucking Safeway chicken, if you're not Barack, you know what I mean? So people are like, you know, later on they're like, well, Michelle is a man and Barack did this and blah. Believe you me, if he had anything to find, we would have known about it by June of 2007. If he had anything they could find. And unfortunately, fuck fair, if we're going to be operating in these spaces where we know that we're quite literally almost the black sheep in the situation, they're looking at you.
Yeah.
So to say she can't, like, the first thing I thought was like, oh, I wish she hadn't done that. Same as y'all. I wasn't mad. And then I looked like, fuck that. Like, why do I care who she's fucking? Everyone's doing their job. What the fuck did any of that do with what they're doing? Like in Minister Society, when a man was like, I don't know, but if that's you on that tape, nigga, that you got your ass whooped that night. Like, I don't know, Trump. She might be, you know what I mean, giving handies to somebody at a Jiffy Lube, nigga. I don't know. But right now, that racketeering, nigga, that's all you. Sorry. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, we're just not in a position to do that. And it's fucked up and unfair, and so is everything. So,
but that's also back to the sort of point that we're talking about. Look, politics and respectability. She is clearly under a microscope. But I'm fucking tired of that shit. I'm fucking tired of it. She is doing her motherfucking job. There's no conflict of motherfucking interest. The only thing I might, you know, in terms of messiness is that he wasn't fully divorced yet, but these motherfuckers been separated for 2 fucking years. Okay, so like I can't. Initially, I was feeling, I'm like, oh, fuck that shit. There's no there. Okay, they painted it very. They're trying to get this case fucked up.
They painted it very differently, too, because once I found out about the fact that they were separated, I'm like, y'all acting like she was sucking his dick and he was going home sleeping with his wife. He wasn't even with his wife at the time. And I think all of these things are happening for the same reason. The Claudine Gay shit, the Cori Bush shit that we just talked about, and this one. And I want to be clear. When she said it was hard to find somebody to accept that position, y'all know why? Fani has to travel with security everywhere she goes because of who she's prosecuting. And that man has a target on his head as well. That's why she couldn't find anybody. So to be honest, looking at logistically, statistically, financially, everything, it made perfect sense that she hired him.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. So, yeah,
and again. Look, Antoine, when you in the foxhole and shit is stressful all the motherfucking time, and it's a fine ass nigga over there, you're like, you know what?
Yes.
She gonna bubble up, okay?
Yes.
like it is what it is. I'm like,
it's sexy to be protected.
Because I don't
when a nigga will fight for you, you will get that pussy up. Let me stop being vulgar.
Go ahead. Okay, wait. Sarah said them Safeway chickens out there somewhere, like, leave us out of this.
Oh. Y'all don't let me forget, I had a passenger yesterday. Her and her daughter got in the car, and I don't remember how we got on. It was raining cats and dogs, and she was talking about how she went to Wingstop, and she saw that they don't clean their chicken. And it went into this whole thing about black. There's an argument online. People are saying that you don't have to clean the chicken because when you put it in the hot oil, and we had a whole conversation on cleaning chicken.
Jason's face
look. She had paid her money to get a bunch of wings, and she saw that they wasn't cleaning them, and she said, I see how y'all operate here. I want my fucking money back. And the girl wouldn't give her money, and the police had to come. The police had to come to Wingstop because this woman wanted her money back because she said the Wingstop wasn't cleaning.
Listen, man, you gotta have standards. You gotta have standards, man. Like, I don't care if you in Brazil or Australia, man. If you go to the house of the evening ladies and shit, and they ain't cleaning the chicken, bro, don't eat the chicken. You hear me? Or don't eat the chicken. Get the tropical bobo, homie. You can't. I don't even eat chicken at the strip store, and they might clean it. I don't know. It's dark in there. You don't know what's happening with that chicken.
She said she walked into the Wingstop and she said one of the workers was complaining that they didn't have any basically fresh, unfrozen wings to cook. And she said that girl pulled out a bag of frozen wings threw it on the floor, and then ran it under some water and started cooking the wings. And she said that along with all kinds of other shit that was happening there. That's what she said. I'm not fucking paying that $40. Give me my money back.
If you want to be safe, for real safe, and you want cleanliness, eat at home.
Oh, I mean,
I don't care what restaurant you in. If you want to be safe, eat at home.
So you know what? We'll circle back to this clean chicken, don't clean chicken, washcloths, no washcloth conversation. We're going to come back to that on another episode.
I also don't want, I have to put up, I don't want, this is allegedly, this came to me from a passenger. I was not there when it happened because Rick Ross owns some wing stops, I think maybe here in LA. I don't want the smoke, Rick. You got way more money than me. So it's alleged.
Okay.
I love Wingstop's wings. Now I'm feeling some kind of fucking way. Oh my God. I did not know this.
I think this was at one particular location. I don't want to throw Wingstop under the. So again, allegedly, we could be using this banner a lot. Allegedly, we're speaking of a specific Wingstop somewhere in the greater LA metropolitan area. So,
Jason, I don't know if you can see it. There's a banner that's going that says allegedly Madness Collective is not to be blamed for whatever the fuck was said tonight.
It's funny because I was about to say you guys should make a T-shirt that just said the Madness Collective on the front and then just ellipsis allegedly on the back. Like, listen, we all know.
Yeah. So last thing I want to mention about this, we're moving on because we are over time and I got to get someplace. Beverly mentioned about the ex-wife. And yeah, the ex-wife is not helping matters. Let me say that, okay? Because she feeling some kind of way about dividing up of the money, which I actually get that. But I'm like, girl, right now with all this other shit popping.
I don't know what, somebody should have stepped in and said, hey, do you know what's at stake right now? What is it that you need? What do you think is hiding? Some benefactor could have gave her whatever she needed.
They did. Somebody talked. Yeah, she backed up. She's like, it's on pause. That's fine. We'll deal with that later.
Good.
Yeah, no, that shit got settled like on Monday or like last week. Like
the article said it was temporarily settled. That's what gave me pause. It said temporary. That's all.
Well, because it was getting hectic and like they thought Fani was gonna have to come in and testify too as a part of this goddamn divorce hearing bullshit, like whatever the fuck. So that got at least 2 year handled for now. Okay.
Terrible
like
time.
Olivia Pope showed up and was like, okay, girl, be easy right now, please. Okay. So, okay, moving on. And then this speaking of dating, did you want to show the Ready to Love trailer or we can just jump into the first clip?
I'll go ahead and play it.
Play the trailer.
Yeah,
I can't see it. I can't see
you
nothing.
Know what, Chris? I only have the trailer. I don't have the other
you don't have the
clips.
clips?
I'm sorry. I don't have the clips. I only had a trailer. I'm sorry. Here we go.
We're beginning, ladies and gentlemen. Feel the fire. While some connections might be forming right now, you never know what might be coming around the corner next. It's about to get tricky up in here.
Falling in love scare you?
No, I think it'll be easy.
I got it out of the trenches. This is really me, no more pretending.
Baby, you said you was ready to turn up.
In life and in love, things are not always equal.
Thank you for meeting me this evening.
Change your tone of voice.
Okay.
Get my roses back.
She can't help but be messy. Then if I get up and slap the in her mother mouth, she gonna have a problem.
Is that what you want to do?
Please don't.
We can go there.
Let me tell you something. It does not get any easier. It's time to find out which of these singles are really ready to love.
As we're leaving the date, he knelt down on the floor.
Oh, there's one more thing that I wanted to do.
Really?
Ready to Love new season Friday, January 12th, 8/7 Central on.
So here's the thing.
Listen, I'm sorry. I had it wrong. I had it mixed up. Crescent told me, Crescent was trying to say the trailer isn't that important. Make sure you put the clips in there. And I thought she was saying, do the trailer because the clips ain't that important.
No. Because the clips, and it's one of those where I don't actually even want to recap it or summarize it because it's worth it to see what plays out. There's two different women on two different dates and the exchange. And I'm like, this is what the fuck dating is right now. So let's
do it. Well, I'll have the clips on Monday. We can come back to this on Monday.
Tune your ass in on Monday and we can address some dating shit then. Go ahead, Jason. You're about to say?
No, because I can't see what y'all see. There was a brother on the trailer. I think he was on the trailer. He's in one of the dates, which we're not going to talk about right now, which I found both of those exchanges so incredibly frustrating. I was like, are both like your social. Both of these brothers. I was like, why are you even?
Yeah.
Nigga, why are you even?
So
Like just worthless. But one of them, the cat with the dreads, kind of looks like the Predator. He looks a little bit like he has wearing a helmet underneath his skin on his forehead. Like he got a helmet and then put
his head is shaped. The top part of his head is shaped like a heart.
Yeah, but it ain't lovable though.
So look, Jason, if you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
time, you want to come back on Monday, we will have you back on Monday. We'll figure
I'll
out how
come
to
back on Monday. That'll be fun. 'Cause I did watch it. I did watch it, and I was gonna say that you two people, but I now find out you don't watch the show. I was like, y'all shocked the shit out of me. I was like, the fact that y'all could do this, I could not do that for a half hour.
I don't do that. I'm not
But
doing
we'll
that.
talk about it later. But yeah, it's like how people talk about hip hop being downgrading our entire thing from our intellect to our social. It really does. Like this is what they put on TV for us to look at, and we do. And it's your girl, it's your friend Oprah, right? Because y'all is Oprah people, right?
Hey. I got a relationship on. Slow down.
It is true though. I mean, some of the shit when I saw this, and at the end, it was either the beginning or the end, and I was like, what the fuck is happening over at home?
Hey. We can talk about it on Monday. Talk about it.
Like, take it easy now. Take it
we
easy.
We're gonna talk about Oprah and on, okay? We're not to do that. Okay.
Don't blame the messenger.
I want to say this though. So Beverly said, "Is this section about them eyelashes?" Because LOL. Bev also again said, "Please help Jason. We're gonna figure it out by Monday." Okay.
We should be a lot better on Monday. A lot of our problems today, I learned. I got a message that popped up, and our platform was like, "Yeah, it's like all fucked up because you have limited bandwidth available." So that's when I got up.
I got the same note.
So I had to get up and plug. But since I'm controlling shit, I had to go and plug in my Ethernet cable because in the past I thought it was fine. So we shouldn't have any of these problems on Monday.
Also,
where did you have to go to get an Ethernet cable? Did you walk all the way to 1996 or?
Oh no, I already got a cable. I just have to plug it in.
Bev also said Jason did the homework, read that long ass article, and everything, help him. So again, Bev is in your corner, Jason. So he'll be back.
Thank you very much.
By the way, Miss Pickett, that's family, right? She said that's my show.
Yeah,
so
that's my cousin.
She watches Ready to Love. So tune back in on Monday. We're gonna actually talk about it. And Sarah said, yes, that's what we call cliffhanger. You're damn straight. Turn your ass back in on Monday. But last thing, because more. Okay, wait. Bev said the TikTok streets stay fighting the chicken cleaning argument: bleach, soap, vinegar, or hot grease. Angie said the hot oil will clean it.
Of course, Angie said this shit.
Right. And then Bev said, Jason, stop eating out strip clubs. Okay. So.
Oh, no.
They had the best wings. Apparently, they had the best wings.
That's what
hey, man, I gave that up for Lent.
Okay. All right. So on Monday, we'll get back into this Ready to Love shit. Also, black men voting for Trump.
Oh, God. Thank you that you're having me for that.
Yeah. Jason, now, don't get us banned.
No.
We know how you get down. I don't want to have to change our name to the Furious Collective and start a whole other channel. Don't get our channel fucking shut down.
No. You know what, man? Really, really quickly. My wife teaches high school to all and only kids of color. So it's like it's fantastic. South Asian, Latino, and blacks at Gardena High School.
His wife is beautiful, y'all. Yeah. She's gorgeous. Keep going.
Oh yeah, she's sweet. I like her. The number of kids that would be voting for Trump if they were old enough to vote in that group of color kids. Listen to my black guy. in that group of people of color kids, it's so disheartening, man, because their reasoning is things like, what he gave us a STEMI check. I'm like, bro, and they're saying directly, that's what my parents know, because that's who told me. It's like, what is fucking happening? Like, what?
Save it, Jason, because that's exactly what was said on this other thing I saw on MSNBC about that STEMI check. I'm like, you motherfuckers got 1, maybe 2 checks, and now you following this motherfucker around with your nose open? I can't. Yeah. But Monday, we'll talk about it on Monday. Last comment, Miss Pickett said, them the best wings, ones in strip clubs. She said she fucked around and found out in Magic City. Okay, I just want to put that out there. So
well, don't lick your fingers off. Listen to me. Don't lick your fingers.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Thank you for watching. We'll be back Monday at 7 with the rest of these stories.
Okay. I'm ending the broadcast. Thank you, people.